greatest kings on this earth, the greatest queens on this earth, they did not care about their lives. They cared about their eternity. It's hard for me to see Alexander the Great being the frontline soldier of his whole army in every battle on a horse, his favorite horse. Took an arrow to the chest, getting sliced across his leg, having an arrow sliced through his shield. It's hard for me to see him doing that if he cares so much about his life. That man lived his life for his eternity. Hey, how's it going? This is Augustus from Ask a Wise Guy, and I'm about to get wise with you. I want to ask you something. What's the difference between every action movie that we see, every hero story that we hear, and every show that we grew up watching where there's good and evil? This world likes to fashion things a specific way. They like to make evil look more powerful than good. But one thing that all of the bad guys have in common is that they strike first and ask last. And that the good guys end up prevailing. This is actually an ancient principle. But I'm here to tell you, it's possible to be good and strike first and ask last. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Strike first, ask last. In this world, we have a lot of temporal things. A lot of things that are here today and they won't be here tomorrow. Materials are subjected to fire. And whatever fire hits, if there's enough of it, it could pretty much eradicate anything. But see, this is something that people are used to. Everyone's used to this reality, and they're not too conscious of the spirit realm and the things that govern this reality. Scientists, they're starting to come across a new reality, and they're starting to say to us that they've discovered, as if this is the first time that this thing has been here. But these scientists fail to realize that they're just specks of dirt, specks of dust. Throughout all of the galaxy, they're just specks of dust. But they think that they run it all. See, now my point here is that
Petah Parka.
in the spirit realm, things are not so temporary. They're actually more primal. They're things are in the spirit realm before they become in the natural realm. Alright, so if you were to get into the spiritual and you were to see a mountain, not an earthly mountain, but a mountain in the heavenlies, that mountain will be a lot more real. You can feel the life that's in that mountain, if there's any life in it, and everything's more real. You can sense everything around you 10 times more. If someone were to flick your arm, you'll feel it a lot more based on the atmosphere that you're in. So when you understand these things, you're a lot more easier to accept the truth, the hidden truth behind things, not just the surface truth. There's a lot of surface truths out there. In life, many people, there's not the majority of people that you deal with, they don't strike first and ask last. That's why the bad guys are becoming more respected. Everyone, they want to be a bad boy. They want to be a bad boy. She wants to be a bad girl. Everyone wants to be bad because they're noticing a common thread. They know what they want. They strike for what they want, and they get what they want. Well, if you're in a room full of people and there's a cake on the table, just a cupcake. No one goes for the cupcake, but this one person says, "You know what? I'm gonna get this cupcake." Of course, you're gonna get what you want. No one else is going for what they want. That doesn't make you special. So just being bad isn't the key. It's not about being bad. Imagine if someone had a good heart and they strike for what they want first and then ask last. These movies would be a little more different. And if that was the norm, then these movies might seem a little less realistic, because nobody would know as much bad guys that just go for what they want. Or if they did, it wouldn't mean nothing, because the good guys do it too. See, now I'm going somewhere with this, but in the spirit realm, your life, your see, on earth, your life is temporal. You're born to die. Someday we're all gonna die. We're all gonna leave this place. So your life, that's a very big deal, I would say. And everyone, they make a lot of decisions based on their life, where they want to be in life. But very few focus on their eternity. Very few focus on where they're going to be for the rest of eternity. It's better to neglect your life and tend to your eternity than to neglect your eternity and tend to your life. See, and see, when they're not conscious of their eternity, chances are they're not going to be helping it. Chances are they're going to end up in a place, once they leave this place, that they're really not going to like. I mean, that's an earthly principle. There's nothing profound about that. You know, if you were taught as a child, don't put your hands on people, don't touch other people, don't keep your hands to yourself. If you were taught that and you didn't tend to that knowledge, you didn't tend to that, and you just keep touching other people, you just keep putting your hands on other people, by the time you're 20, you'll be in and out of the system, probably sentenced to life in jail because you touched somebody wrong, and you keep touching people wrong. You don't tend to that, and chances are that will be a place that you really wouldn't like to be. So imagine how much more concerning your eternity. Imagine how much more concerning your spiritual state and your spiritual future. See, there's a lot of people out there that they'll say, well, you know what? I believe Jesus was here on the earth, and I believe that he was real, but I'm just not ready to live my life for him. I'm just not ready to give up
Petah Parka.
these things that I'm doing, that I'm into. You know, I can't see myself praising this blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus that didn't even have blonde hair, and you know, and that's not even how he looked. I can't see myself praising someone that is portrayed to be what they're not. But I'll put it like this. If you drag your feet on this, there's no saying where you'll be for eternity. See, there's a difference between someone that walks around on this earth and they know who they are on the earth, and then someone that walks around on this earth knowing who they are in the spirit realm. There's a difference. There's a difference. If both of those men were standing beside each other, you will feel a difference on one that's not on the other. It's just difference. The confidence is different. The self-awareness is different. There's no insecurities. None. You know, I'm very disappointed in our men today, because insecurities used to be a thing for the ladies, you know. And even in Genesis 3, the Lord clearly said that I'm going to give you great conception, or in other words, he made it to where women will think a lot. So that means great insecurities, right? But now men have great insecurities. I never thought I'll see the day. There's dudes that feel like they need to brag about being with their best friend's girlfriends, or the mothers of their children. And it's, you know, they joke around and it's, you know, ha ha ha. But that's an insecurity. People walking around talking about, you know, I need my haters. I love haters. I love people that are insecure about me, because it makes me feel good about myself to know that I have people that don't like me. I get attention. And that's insecurity. I can't shake the hand of a man that cares about what other people think about him so much. I just can't do it. You know, if you're in my presence, you call yourself a man, and you before you shake my hand, you're in the corner somewhere in the room with a selfie stick. Now, years from now, people might not know what that is, but that's a stick that you hold out to take a picture of yourself with your phone. A selfie stick. And you think that, you know, you're gonna be able to come over here and shake my hand. I might do it out of love and out of pity, because, you know, that's pitiful for a man. I'm sorry. See, so there's a difference with a man, with a woman. Women, ladies, you're in this, all right? But there's a difference between the two. One person, one man or woman, they're focused on their life so much, and they're tending to their life so much. And then one man or woman, they're tending to their eternity. The greatest kings on this earth, the greatest queens on this earth, they did not care about their lives. They cared about their eternity. It's hard for me to see Alexander the Great being the frontline soldier of his whole army in every battle, on a horse, his favorite horse. Took an arrow to the chest, getting sliced across his leg, having an arrow sliced through his shield. It's hard for me to see him doing that if he cares so much about his life. That man lived his life for his eternity. See? So if you could grasp this, I'm telling you, a lot of people, they say, well, you know what, I'm not ready to come to Jesus yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to, you know, I want to live my life first. I don't want to change my ways. You don't change your ways before you come to Jesus. Write that down. You don't change your ways before you come to Jesus. You come to him. You tell him that you love him and that you want him to be in your life. He fills your heart and you lose the desire for those things. It's him first, not the other way around. Ladies, do you know Cleopatra? I do. And I could bet you $100 that I could see her in you too. See, in the Return of Cleopatra, we're going to cover everything that you need to know in order to bring out that Cleopatra. See, what most don't know about Cleopatra is that she was the only queen that came from Greece, was a queen in Egypt and Rome. She was sexy, smart, and let's not forget, royal. See, most women today don't believe that they deserve to be treated like a queen. Some believe that they deserve more, and some simply just want something new. But in Cleopatra, we're going to figure out exactly what it is that you're looking for and how to get it. So make sure you subscribe and click on that beautiful yellow bell so that you know the second I drop something new. Can't wait to see you there. Trust me, your drinking and your smoking is not stopping the Lord from getting to you. He's more powerful than that. See, the Roman guards, I believe they were Praetorian guards, but I could easily, we could all easily agree that those were centurion guards that had the cat of nine tails when they were whipping Jesus. And what the cat of nine tails is it's a whip with 9 different smaller whips on this one handle, and there's nails on the ends of these 9 tails that they would call it. They're small whips on this handle, and there's nails. There's different kind of nails that are fashioned to rip apart flesh. These Roman centurions hit Jesus 39 times with that. And Elijah prophesied, he said by the time he got on the cross, he didn't even resemble a man. See, this is big. This is big. A man that could do that, a man that could go through that, I would reckon that he would know how to deal with someone that has that smokes marijuana or that drinks alcohol. I would reckon that man would know how to deal with someone like that. I think he has tougher skin than that. And see what happens when you come to the Lord. It's a spiritual battle your whole life. If you don't like being controlled, if you don't like having someone to tell you what to do, then that's all the more reason to come to Jesus. Because when you don't live for the Lord, you don't have protection. So what happens is you have stuff happening to you by spiritual forces. They're not from the Lord. Alright, they're the demonic forces from the enemy or the devil or Satan or Baphomet, whatever you want to call him. Alright, and they're forces from him that he sends to torture you, that he sends to tempt you, to lead you closer to him, so that he could raise up his army and fight the Lord in the great day of judgment. He doesn't ask for permission to taunt you. He doesn't ask for permission to mess with your life, to throw things in your way. If you've been hurt, if someone's done something to you, that someone, that something that happened, there was an influencer behind that person. And based on who the person is, you could probably agree that they had that they work with something. There's probably no doubt in your mind that this person probably works with something, that they got their own demons, right? So these spirits, they don't ask your permission. That's dictatorship. That's controlling. You don't get an invitation. These demons are working on you. They're working on the people around you so that they could get you. You think I'm lying? Watch Paranormal Activity. Have you ever seen that? Now, if you haven't, don't watch it. But if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a vine called Charlie Challenge, where people will summon a spirit and it'll move this pencil. All they do is just call his name a couple of times. This is real. This is real. So what happens when you come to the Lord? You strike first. You strike first. You attack these evil spirits that are trying to dictate your life. And I know you may have a lot of questions about the Lord. Look, those questions are all right. But get your protection before you start asking the questions. Just get in there. Get your protection. Strike first, ask last. This is the spiritual way to do this. You don't want to ask last. No, I'm sorry. You don't want to ask first. You don't want to strike last. It's going to be too late to strike. Spiritually speaking, a lot of you are getting pounded on. So it's not even about striking second. You're striking after hundreds of blows have been thrown to you, delivered to you. See, all you need is one punch, one, to get you in there. And a lot of you, or while you're getting pounded on, you're just asking these questions. Well, I don't think Jesus is real. I don't think, and you're just getting pounded on. The lights are getting turned off here. You know, car won't start there. Your baby mama's tripping here. Your baby father's tripping there. Husband, wife, children. All of these things you're getting pounded on, and you're asking questions. Some of you don't even have the sense to ask questions. I'm gonna tell you what. you don't strike now, and you end up in flames, you end up in hell fire for eternity, you're going to be asking some questions then. Everyone will be asking questions. They're going to say, man, why didn't such and such prayed every single day? Why didn't they come to me? Why didn't they share these things with me? If they knew about this, why didn't they share this? Why was I so stupid? Why couldn't I just come to the Lord? I thought my life mattered. Come to find out, this is what matters. See? You don't want to ask. You don't want to strike last. You want to strike first and ask last. Because if you don't strike first, if you don't strike now, you're not going to be able to strike at all. When you get to meet in person those demons that have been following you your whole life, and they've been tormenting you, you're not gonna be able to fight back. There's no fighting there. The fight is here. When you see them in person and you're mad at them, there's so much wrath in you, but you're chained up and you can't do nothing. You want to strike, you know who to strike now, but you can't. And they're going to be laughing at you saying, hey, you were stupid on the earth. You didn't do a thing. I was over you your whole life. I was the reason why you got in that car accident. I was the reason why this happened. I was the reason why. And you can't do nothing. Strike first. Come to the Lord. Come to Him. And see, the closer you come to the Lord, the more He reveals these things to you. He'll show you why things have been happening. He'll break it all down for you. Trust me. God is not the God of confusion. He doesn't confuse. He puts it all out there on the table in front of you. Why would anyone want to ignore a God like that? You see what's happening on this earth? People are dying by the boatloads every day. And in ways that we haven't seen on the earth before. From earthquakes to fires, people are dying by the boatloads. And it's time for us to step up. It's time for us to step up. So strike first. There's a story in scripture. It's a parable, and Jesus is telling it. It's actually a gentleman that the Lord, that Jesus, he resurrected this man. So this man died, and then Jesus, not resurrected, but He brought him back to life. All right, and his name was Lazarus. And there's a parable that Jesus tells about Lazarus. Everyone knew Lazarus that was in Jesus' circle. And so when He told this story, this really hit close to home. But with Lazarus, Jesus, he told this parable, and He said there was one day where Lazarus, there was a rich man, and Lazarus was Lazarus, he asked for, things on the earth. He didn't have it so well, and he asked for, blessings. And he knew the rich man, so apparently Lazarus asked the rich man for some things. But the rich man, he didn't give him anything. So it was clear that this rich man didn't live for the Lord, but Lazarus did. So what happened is both of them died, and at this time, people weren't allowed to go into heaven yet. So for those that live for the Lord, there was a compartment. Technically it was in hell, all right, but it wasn't hell itself. All right, there was no torture. It was a peaceful place in hell, and it was called Abraham's bosom. All right. So what happened was when the rich man and Lazarus died, Lazarus, he was in a place where he was tortured because he didn't live for the Lord. Lazarus, he was at peace. He was with all of the Old Testament saints, from Adam and Eve to Abraham, everyone, and he was at peace. So the rich man, he looked over and he could recognize everyone in Abraham's bosom. And he was close, very close to Abraham's bosom, but he was tortured. I mean, greatly tortured. And he was tortured with fire. So what the rich man asked Lazarus, he shouted, he said, "Hey, Lazarus, I'm tormented in this heat. Please dip your finger in water so it could cool my tongue. Just dip your finger in water and bring it over to me so it could cool my tongue. Come on, man, I'm tortured in this. And Lazarus said, "Well, I can't do that. It's not how it works. And that's not how this works here." Then the rich man, he's just tortured. And he said, no, I'm sorry. I almost made two stories up there. But since I thought about that one, I'll tell you that one next. But this is, you have to imagine this. If you don't believe me, look up the things on hell. Look up people that have visitations to hell. You'll hear very similar things to what I'm saying. But don't stop there. Look up the things of heaven. Look up Jesus. Look up the things of the Lord. Don't just fill your day with doom and gloom. Fill your day with some good too. Come to the Lord. See? And strike first. Don't you dare ask. Ask first. Don't you dare ask all these questions on earth, and then once you're taken from the earth, you intend to strike. Who are you gonna strike with chains around your body? I'm not talking about shackles. I'm talking about heavy chains. 100-pound chains around your whole body. You can't move a muscle. And you have worms and maggots crawling through these chains, devouring your body. You can't move a muscle. And this is what's going on. And then you're drugged by a chief demon that looks like he stands 7 feet tall. Looks like he's probably 500 pounds in muscle. And he's dragging you with these chains. And these maggots are still devouring you. These worms are still devouring your flesh. And then he throws you into a furnace of fire. And you're waiting to die. You're waiting to just die already. You're relieved that you get to the fire because you're like, all right, finally I'm gonna die. You feel this great fear. A minute goes by, you're not dead. 5 minutes go by, you're not dead. An hour goes by, you're not dead, because guess what? You're a spirit now. You can't die. This is real. Your life is not your life, it's someone else's. You're here to bless people, you're here to help people. You focus on your life according to earthly laws, according to history. You focus on your life 100% of the time, you won't be great. Emperor Nero, all he cared about was himself. He was the first man to put Rome in debt. See? Julius Caesar, he was so selfless. When they brought him stale oil to banquets, it was a natural thing to scold the servants, to really make a scene. Caesar, he just whispered in their ear. He said, "Hey, you know what? Take this oil, and this kind of stale. Just bring us some new stuff, and make sure you do it fast so everyone doesn't notice. All right?" Selfless. And he didn't save the republic, he changed it. He opened the door for Rome to have a heart again. Well, to have a heart, period. Because if you know the story of Romulus and Remus, you know that Rome didn't really have much of a heart. They were good diplomats, very good diplomats, but they were quite heartless too. Then Caesar Augustus came, then Jesus came, see? So it's history. But it happened. It was real. Example. Think I'm lying? Okay. What if you did some great things? Say you accomplished something great, and the people, your entourage, loved you so much for it, so much, that they documented all of your great deeds and had it engraved in stone. All right. And once you pass away, they put the stones into your grave, right? Kind of around your casket, but into your grave. And then they put a beautiful marble sculpture of you on top of your on top of your casket. Centuries down the line, say 2,000 years later, if someone digs that up, you think people's not gonna believe that you actually existed? This stuff is real. This is not man-written history. This is real. And your spiritual state is real. Where you end up for the rest of your life, for the rest of your spiritual existence is real. You said that wasn't enough for you? Okay, I got more. So say this person, say even in hell, right? Say you're going through all this torture, and we're talking about for years. Say you get through all of this torture and you can't die, and there's no dying for spirits, there's just torture. So you're enduring this and you're going through it, and all of a sudden angels from heaven comes down and they bring you up. They bring up all the sinners, everyone that's down there with you. They bring you all up. They bring you up to heaven, and you think they're there to rescue you, and they all bring you up to heaven. and they organize you in lines. All right, and you're sitting in front of this. Everyone has to walk up to this podium with books, and they see the Lord before them, and they ask the Lord. They say, can I come in? And he looks to you. Finally, it's your turn. You get up there and you're in front of this book. And you ask the Lord, can I get in there? And he looks to you and he's saying, well, let's see. He turns to his angel and he says, Gabriel, is his name found in the book of life? You open this book in front of you and you're like, all right, well, I see names in it. Let me see if I can find mine. And you're going through it. And you can take all the time you need. Trust me, this is going to be a long judgment. But you could go through all the names of all the people and throughout all of existence is in this book. And you're looking for your name. And Gabriel, he looks and he can't find it.